Black Rosebud. We about to get it poppin'. We gon' turn up, we gon' get active. Black got it poppin' tonight. Black Rosebud. We gon' turn up, we gon' get active. Black got it poppin' tonight. Black Rosebud. Tune in to Line and Harris Live. Hit the notification, smash that live. The funniest nigga that do what he does. His grandma banged on his down. She thought I was a blood, but I don't bang. I like the good rhymes. The scenery reminded me of good times. From the skits to lives, cracking jokes all the time. It's Black Rosebud, the educated thug with knowledge. Like it was drugs, real rap. You can check my cash out back. All facts, the king of the clapback. No cap, went from slang and crack to jokes. Now that's dope. Capitalizing on the second chance. Nigga so funny, he turned his haters into fans. We gon' turn up, we gon' get active. Black got it poppin' tonight. Black Rosebud. We gon' turn up, we gon' get active. Black got it poppin' tonight. Black Rosebud.
People pay me to do comedy.
People pay me to do comedy.
They also love when I expose the truth doing my comedy. Nigga, you are my biggest fan. That's why I don't hang around niggas no more, because I was a nigga doing nigga shit. And since I don't do nigga shit no more, I don't need friends. I need friends that are real niggas.
Black, what you need to do is take an X-Lax and really go and take a big joke, and you'll feel better.
And what you need to do is take a long walk on a short cliff and just fall
The Joker.
and won't nobody give a fuck.
DJ what's that? DJ Tracula. What's up with it in the house, man? I don't know how y'all want me to do this. Do you want, this is about critical race theory, you know what I'm saying? I can go two ways with this. I can go to a 10 and get X-rated and add a bunch of explicit lyrics and words and things like that, and baby mama jokes and cuss out a bunch of people and things like that. Or I can turn it down a bit, you know what I'm saying? Or I can let you watch this with your children and teach them about critical racial thinking and what they talking about. So what you want me to do? You want me to turn it up, or you want me to turn it down? Because I can do both. You can watch this with the kids, or you can watch it with your homies. Which one you want to do? Huh? What's up, DJ Dracula? Which one do you want to watch it with the kids, or you want to watch it with your homies? Because it's about critical race theories, what they teaching our kids in school, how to be less than and try to be inferior to. You feel what I'm saying? We don't need that in the schools. Turn up. We're going to turn it up in this bitch, then we're going to turn it up in this motherfucker. I don't give a fuck, right? I hear we say turn it up. Oh, yeah, I want the cut. I want the cut play. You've been making these dudes laugh since I found you. Good looking out. Teach the kids. I had one person say teach the kid. We got 2 turn up and we got a couple of teach the kids. Well, I'm going to try to do both. If you got kids, you need to have your kids listen to this, because the way I was taught in history, right? I was taught how to love America. I was taught about how America was discovered. I was taught the struggles of America, the rights, the tragedies. It was a couple of things were left out, but for the most, I was taught how to love America, how America was great. Now the kids are being taught a whole different thing. They've been hidden from different parts of history. They having certain parts of history taken away. They are silencing people that's trying to explain certain parts of history to them. They're trying to add history, right? And they're trying to make white kids feel less, want white kids to feel less than, and they want black kids to feel inferior. It's not about black kids feeling better about themselves, because you gotta tell a black kid, you are not good enough. You are not smart enough. You know what I'm saying? You are not intelligent enough. We have to get this white kid to dumb down and be like you to make you equal. And you're telling the white kid, you are privileged. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't have that much privilege. So in order for this black person to feel like they're more privileged, we're going to need you to take away some of your so-called white privileges. And the shit is getting out of control. Listen to this.
This is where angry parents are accusing the school board of trying to indoctrinate students with controversial curriculum on race and American history.
They indoctrinating your kids, y'all. Wait, hold on. Why I ain't doing the whole story mode? I'm gonna do the whole freaking story mode. Where the story mode at? This is story mode? Where we at in the story mode? We're doing the whole story mode around this bitch. right? They're trying to indoctrinate your children, y'all. They're trying to indoctrinate your children. They're trying to. We're doing a whole skit, man. We're doing a whole skit.
This is where angry parents are accusing the school board of trying to indoctrinate students with controversial curriculum on race and American history.
We're doing the whole thing. We're doing the whole video, man. Do the whole video. Why they ain't doing the whole video? Okay, we're doing the whole video.
Our freedom is being overtaken by left-wing cancel culture.
Our freedom are being taken over by wing cancel culture. Our freedoms are being taken over. Our freedom of speech, our certain rights, everything is being taken over by right-wing cancel culture.
It's called critical race theory. But the board insists it's all trying to do is just make sure that every student and race and background are welcomed and included.
Including by exclusion. I mean, exclusion, whatever the fuck that word is. They exclude your child from being right? And people like these, right? Like this woman right here, right? I edited a little bit, so like I said, I haven't wrote no jokes to it, but this lady is one of these leftist, right-wing, socialist, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that thinks everything should be equal and everything should be fair.
This isn't critical race theory. This is diversity inclusion.
Diversity inclusion. What the fuck is a diversity inclusion?
This is the golden rule: do unto others
as they do unto you, right? Do unto others as they do unto you. That's not no golden rule. We're teaching our kids how to be less than. We teach our kids.
And the Biden administration is pushing toxic, critical race theory and illegal discrimination into our children.
Right? Now, there's nothing wrong with being proud of who you are. If you white, black, Mexican, or anything, right? There's nothing wrong with trying to elevate yourself to be smarter. Elevate yourself to make friends. Elevate yourself to love people. Now, when you telling somebody to be less than, then how can you tell me I can be all I can be and anything I can be if you're telling me I can't be? So you're telling white kids to basically dumb down and basically be I don't know what the fuck a socialist. I don't know. Everybody's equal. Nobody should be able to tell somebody to dumb down and not to try to be better than who they are, not to try to reach their full potential, right? So if I get too smart or if I do too much, like, hold on, tone it down, because you're making the other students feel uncomfortable by you being so smart, right? What happened to people striving to get in gifted classes and extracurricular classes and things like that? What happened to them? What happened to competition, spelling bees and things like that? What happened to these things? All these things used to be prevalent when I was growing up. We got spelling bees. What happened? They don't teach you music in class no more. You don't get to learn art in class no more. You don't. So when you put in this critical race theory, CRT, what is you going to replace? Because in order to put this in, you got to take something out. Is you going to take time out of math? Is you going to take time out of my kids' science, English, American history? What are you going to take out of my kids' lesson or my kids' education to put this in? I would like to know.
Schools.
I would like to know what you're going to put in these kids' in these kids' curriculum.
Not an honest dialogue is a tactic that was used by Hitler and the Ku Klux Klan on slavery very many years ago to dumb down my ancestors. So we could not think for ourselves.
Now, that was a tactic used by one of the most racist person in history, Hitler, right? These are black people understanding there's no such thing as equity, right? We already got our equality. We can become a better society, but in order to have equity, and somebody could explain that later on, you must take from one to give to another. That's not equity, and that's not equality. Equity is forced, right? Because it's a determined outcome. Oh shit! Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to call y'all right back. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have to pay. I gotta go put some money in my car. Hold on, right quick. I gotta go put some money in my car for parking right quick. I'm finna play this, and I'll be right back. I'll be right back, y'all. I'm gonna play this whole thing. I'll be right back.
This is where angry parents
I'll
are
be right
accusing
back.
the school board of trying to indoctrinate.
All right, back. All right, back. I'll pause it right quick. I'm gonna play the whole clip. Pause it.
Students with controversial curriculum on race and American history. It's called critical race theory. But the board insists it's all trying to do is just make sure that every student and race and background are welcomed and included. But the divide is very sharp.
DEI policies.
This isn't critical race theory. This is diversity inclusion.
CRT is not an honest dialogue. It is a tactic that was used by Hitler and the Ku Klux Klan on slavery very many years ago to dumb down my ancestors, so we could not think for ourselves.
If you have materials that you're providing where it says if you were born a white male, you were born an oppressor, you are abusing our children.
One speaker.
CRT is racist. It is abusive. It discriminates against one's color. Let me educate you.
This is the golden rule: do unto others.
An honest dialogue does not oppress. An honest dialogue does not implement hatred or injustice. It's to communicate without deceiving people.
Hell no. In fact, and you should not say that. We have kids here, Attorney Senate, that go to that school. And I'm going to add this. On April 15th, the very first day of PSSA testing, what you guys did was you put in the media for these kids and these parents and the people that support Erie Rise that this school was going to be closing.
Of America's students.
Please get back to just teaching our children math, science, factual history, equity of opportunity, and teach them how to think and not what to think.
We should make sure every child feels included.
We don't want your political advertisement to divide our children or belittle them. Think twice before you indoctrinate such racist theories.
I don't know how or why this would be debated.
What could be the motivation for going against diversity and inclusion?
Woo! Well, come on, let it go.
You see, this plan does not yell, "You are different." It yells, "You are no different."
Shit, it reads you are different. Anytime you tell somebody that they're not good enough, that's saying they're different. You can also tell somebody you can strive to be better. But by saying, hey man, we need to put these courses in for you to be competitive with somebody else that's supposed to have privileges. Why don't you start by making the teachers and the education system better in the Black community?
Today, we don't need your agreement. We want action and a backbone for what we asked for today, to ban CRT. You cannot tell me what is or is not racist. Look at me.
I'm Black. You can't tell me what it is and what's not racist, because it's all these white folks, all these liberals telling us what's racist. They're telling us the medicine is racist, the laws is racist, voting is racist, the police is racist, the medical is racist, the Republicans is racist, you name it, housing is racist, the streets is racist, the freeways is racist, you name it, it's fucking racist. Everything, teaching is racist, education is racist. It's not one fucking thing the Democrats don't attach racism to. Crime is racist. Anything you do now is fucking racist.
I had to come down here today to tell you to your face that we are coming together and we are strong. This will not be the last. Greet and meet respectfully.
Now let's talk.
Now this right here is some disrespectful shit right here. Now look how racist this shit is, right? Look how racist this shit is, and how this white liberal ass teacher talks to these Black parents about their kids. This is some racist shit right here.
Talk about trauma and psychodynamics. Do you think that might have an impact on test scores? I'm just curious. If you say to a kid, hey, your school's closing, we're closing that school, and then now I got to go take a test. Do you have an answer to that, counselor?
I do. He do. Now watch his answer. He's talking about Black kids, school closing down, and they telling these kids they got to take a test with no teacher, no time to prepare, nobody. I mean, I guess it's online learning or some shit like that, but they're teaching these kids, telling these kids, you're going to have to take a test what the schools are being closed down. Watch this disrespectful shit this man say.
Based on
Bottle it, and we probably can all benefit.
Based on your English language scores, don't think your students could read the newspaper, sir.
Now, you see how they look? They're like, no, this motherfucker didn't. Based on your student scores, reading scores, we don't think your students are able to read this newspaper. Think about this. They're letting you know we know your kids are fucking dumb because we want them to be. Look how mad the black parents is. Look at that.
Attorney Senate, I have to say before a counselor says anything, that is a very low blow with racial overtones.
Huh? You're allowed to get away with that. Look at the teacher board. They're racist. You're talking about the racism. The people are the most racist are the people that talk about the most racist shit. When you point one finger, guess what? 3 more is pointing at you. You claim you claim you care for our kids. You claim you care for our students and your students and shit like that. But look how you're treating them. Look how you're talking to them. These parents are hot.
Your microphone isn't on, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we must have order to proceed, and if we don't have order, we're going to recess the hearing again. Please respect the fact that these speakers have the floor when they do.
Well, the Attorney Senate is going to respect the parents in this room. He's going to respect the parents in this room. He's going to respect the fact that these folks have worked and they pay taxes and they send their children to this school because they think it's a good school for them. And for him to make a comment
hold on,
that these folks have worked and they pay taxes and they send their children to this school because they think it's a good school for them. And for him to make a comment like that and for you to have your first comment be addressed to these people as opposed to addressing it to Attorney Senate is quite frankly out of line.
Like they rather tell they rather tell the black people you're disrespectful. You're out of line. But if somebody up here telling these people that their fucking kid can't read, and this dude is supposed to be respected, they're supposed to respect this dude, and he gonna get on the black parents. What? Imagine if you was in a school and you're begging these this teacher board to open the school so your kids can come in and learn and read and prepare for a test that you're fit to give them, but you tell them your kids can't read.
The Senate is the one that you need to remind to be respectful of these proceedings.
We are going to have order, or we're not going to continue tonight. If there is no order,
there will not be any order. There will not be any peace until there is justice. And if he's going to be allowed to run his mouth like that and say that our children can't read the newspapers, sir, then no, you're not going to have order in this meeting. In fact, you're not going to have order in this town. And in fact, your threat to recess this session means absolutely nothing to us because there is nothing appropriate about his comment. And so until you address that and until you address this behavior, then no, you are not going to have peace.
That's what they think about your kids.
okay,
Mr. Lang, moving on.
Mr. Sainz.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
He don't even want to apologize.
Yes.
Our community matters, but to the teacher union, they don't give a fuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that comment. It was off.
He apologized, but the person who said it didn't.
Counselor, and I'm going to ask, and I have a newspaper article, and we have a student that would like to read this newspaper article to you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lang, I'm asking, we haven't finished your questions. Please sit down.
No.
Let me get back in this critical race thinking right quick. He don't. Okay.
Tonight. This is not March 2020 anymore. We have 3 vaccines. Every adult in the state of Georgia that wants that vaccine is eligible to get it right now. And every one of us knows that young children are not affected by this virus.
I guess this is what got me flagged on the other channel right here when I was putting this on. This is what they're saying. It's not what I'm saying. This is a parent that is obviously upset that her kid got to wear one of them things. I'm not even gonna say the fucking word. If they're gonna flag me, it's gonna be because of these motherfuckers said it, not because I said it. It's because what the information I got off the news. Nothing I included.
They're not. And that's a blessing. But as the adults, what have we done with that blessing? We've shoved it to the side and we've said, we don't care. You're still going to wear a mask on your face every day, 5 and 6 year olds. You still can't play together on the playground like normal children, 7 and 8 year olds. We don't care. We're still going to force you to carry a burden that was never yours to carry. Shame on us.
Now, I passed the elementary school the other day, and it was kind of disturbing to see the little kids out there with them things on their face, right? Everywhere you look, kids running with the things on their face, taking water off with the thing on their face, right? And it's like, how clean can a kid keep one of them things on his face throughout the period of one day? Is the things getting trapped up in there? Is breathing okay? Allergies? What is taken into consideration when these kids come up in here in school and they have medical conditions and things like that? Are them things taken into consideration? Is that student allowed to take something off? Say allow special special breaks for air. What is that student allowed, or do you not allow him in the school at all? I don't know about these situations. If a kid got some kind of medical condition where he can't put one of them things on.
My 6-year-old looks at me every month before I come here. She says, are you going to tell them tonight? Tell them I don't want to wear this anymore.
I'm going to skip past this, but that's what they banned me for, right? For all this part, right? You know what I'm saying? We're going to get back to the parents. We'll get back to the parents, but they try to ban me again. Like, you're talking to mob rule.
Before the governing school board today is a vote for a new curriculum that appears well-intentioned, appealing, even empathetic, but in actuality, it further divides us.
Now, do one person think critical race theory is going to make us come together? It's white people who don't give a fuck about none of that coming together, or I'm going to make my son or my daughter to be less than so this black person can be more than. I don't understand that. If I was white, I wouldn't dare do no shit like that. You couldn't tell me, and I'm black. I don't want my son to feel like he's oppressed. I don't believe in this shit. Don't make me feel like my son is less than. Like you gotta bend the rules for him to be more than. That's not only bad for my kid, that's bad for the country. Because you'll be putting people in positions that don't deserve them positions. You're gonna give them people positions and they ain't earned them. And that can fuck something up. How are we gonna compete with China on a world stage when they kids are waking up and they going to school from 5 o'clock in the morning and they don't get out till 4 o'clock in the morning? They gotta sleep for 30 minutes and go back to fucking school. How are we gonna compete with them on the world stage? We got motherfuckers out of school, running around carrying guns. You telling motherfuckers they gotta come together. China ain't doing that. China coming together at all one fucking nation. Like, you know what? Either you in or you fucking out. That's why China said, look, man, you're going to be either in or you fucking out. We're going to teach about Chinese history. We're going to teach them about Ming Fang Chang, Wang Ming, Yao Ming, Chow Ming, Chow Ming. We're going to teach them about all that shit. We're not going to teach them nothing about no motherfucking American history. We're not going to teach them about all the shit we done wrong. We're going to teach them about our fucking country. Make them proud to be shit. Make them proud to get spied on. And make them understand this is the way to fucking go. It's a dictatorship, but that's what they own. Their education is one education. I bet you they ain't doing no motherfucking critical race theory thing about no goddamn Chinese Uyghurs and no China. You can bet your last dollar on that. They're not studying no motherfucking Christopher Columbus in no damn China. No Martin Luther King. They can give a fuck about Malcolm X in China. They studying Chinese history. Huh? Bruce Lee, Chong Lee, Tony Lee, Bobby Lee, Richard Lee, all that. Fang Fang. They don't give a fuck. They're over there trying to come up.
When you peel back the layers of this onion, you will see that it promotes taking from one group in order to compensate a second group, to correct injustices caused by a third group, who mistreated a fourth group by an earlier point in history.
Right, and that's what she's saying. So you want me to feel guilty for some motherfuckers that I don't know that does some shit to some other motherfuckers I don't know. And you want me to feel guilty for these motherfuckers that I don't know. How? How you gonna take from me because of what another motherfucker done to another motherfucker? Did you hear what she said? That's true. You can't do that.
Actuality further divides us. When you peel back the layers of this onion, you will see that it promotes taking from one group in order to compensate a second group, to correct injustices caused by a third group, who mistreated a fourth group by an earlier point in history.
Sorry about this, y'all, the CNN shit, you know what I'm saying? But I got to expose fake news in order to get the real shit. So I had to go on CNN and see what they saying, and then I got to go and find the story and debunk the shit. So I'm sorry y'all had to see this CNN app shit I got on my phone. I apologize for anybody who's seeing this shit. You know, I didn't mean for you to see this shit. I meant to edit it out. I edited it out, but when I went to the whole clip, and instead of cutting it, the CNN popped up. I'm busted. My bad, y'all. I apologize to all my MAGA for watching CNN. Somebody got to do it. Fuck it. Somebody got to do it. You know how fucking disturbing it is to sit up there and watch fucking Don Dick sucking Lamone sit up there and lie all the fucking time. You gotta watch it. How he sit up there and say this racist. And come on, man. And this dude is fucking gay. And you gotta sit up there and watch him to debunk his story. And all this racist shit he come out, calling people stupid. Huh? I had a thing with my partner, you know what I'm saying? And I was telling him, right? I was watching, I went down Fox recent, MSNBC recent, and CNN recent, right? And Fox recent, you got the border, right? You got Dr. Fauci, right? You got Tony Blinken, right? You got UFOs, right? You got Joe. You got China. You got about 7 or 8 different stories, right? I go to MSNBC. You got 10 stories. 8 of them about Donald Trump. Donald Trump getting investigated. Donald Trump, January 6th, is investigating. General talk about such and such 6. Was January 6th racist, right? Then you go to MSNBC, right? Same fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? January 6th reunion. January 6th this. Officer says this. This. Nothing about Hunter Biden. Nothing about a border wall. Nothing about nothing about the economy, nothing about anything. Everything is about fucking Donald Trump. How can you get any kind of information or even have any kind of concept of what else is going on in fucking life if you watch the CNN and the first 8 stories of every fucking show is Donald Trump? Huh? Donald Trump this, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump. Oh yeah, and somebody got shot. Donald Trump this, Donald Trump this, oh yeah, and your taxes going up. Donald Trump this, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Oh yeah, and Black Lives Matter. The end of the show. Good night.
It's absurd. Not only does it not promote justice, it does the opposite. It promotes racism. And you cannot cure racism with more racism.
Stop diluting student education with political correct, feel-good propaganda.
I didn't come prepared with statistics or anything. I'm just basically coming from a parent and my own personal experience as a parent. I'm the mother of a high school senior and an 8th grade son. And my fear is this type of curriculum will actually breed more racism and more divide in our country rather than unity. I fear that this is actually taking a step backward.
The recent events have brought to light the failure of our education system. The young people we witnessed rioting and looting in some of our largest cities came out of an education system that had taught them to hate America.
Huh? They're coming out of an education system to teach you America is evil, America is racist, America always depressed, America have an evil past, America ain't never got better, America is suffering from the same thing, the Jim Crow laws, the slavery, the oppression, the civil rights, we suffering from the same thing, right? But the people who are believing in this, the people who are getting this education, or the people who are getting forced this education. You don't see LeBron James or nobody rich kids believing in this shit because they're not taught this shit. They're not taught you have to be less than. They're taught you can be better in. They're given the best of every opportunity. They don't know anything about racial profiling, anything like that. There was no point in LeBron James, Bronny, whatever the fucking LeBron James' son's life, he's been discriminated against. Ever in life. It's a class thing. It's not a black and white thing. It's a class thing. Because remember, it was black slaves treating black people, black slave owners that was treating black people like shit, and it was white slaves that got owned by black slave owners. So everybody have treated people like shit throughout the history of time. Can you name me one history in time, one point in time, in any part of history, in American history, China history, Russian history, any fucking time in history when the world was fucking perfect? Anytime. Instead of getting better, these motherfuckers trying to make the world perfect. Everybody's included.
I'd rather empower people in minority groups to rise above and not do anything that's going to create a victim mentality that if you're born a certain way, that you're now not afforded the same options in our country that everyone else is.
But look, the cool thing about this, right, they have to get up here and they can't be angry. They can't be angry because if they're angry, they're out of place. They have to come up here and calmly talk. You hear all these white people, they're actually angry in the inside. But if they actually come out and express their anger, it's going to be like, oh, this is what we're talking about. You see these racist white folks? This is exactly what we're talking about. They're angry. She can't express her true emotion on how she feels about her kid getting this education because they're going to consider her angry or racist, and exactly what they're trying to teach their kids against. Right? But look how all of them, they're white. They can't have any kind of anger. They all have to come on and act, they have to act all nice. My parent, my son and my daughter, and they have to act nice. A black motherfucker would have gone there like, you know what, bitch, my son's motherfucking, no. We would have gone there and showed our ass. Because we can't get considered, we can't be called racist. And when when the right parents make a fuss about schools and stuff like that, they try to quiet these parents down. Be quiet, we don't want this shit out here. Calm that parent down. No, my kid is not getting educated. This. No, we don't want nobody to hear that. When you come here and say like this, it's like you're more submissive. It's like you're begging for a chance to get heard. Because if you say anything out of place, they're gonna shut your ass down. Click. You can't say that. Look how Jenny, all of them got to talk.
Because I think we live in a country where if you put forth the effort, there's opportunities out there for everyone.
The source of the hatred can be traced directly to the emphasis on identity culture, which separates us into special interest groups. Each group is isolated from the other.
But I'm going to fast forward. But look how they got to talk. Look how they got to talk, right? Now look at this. Look at this little boy right here, right? Look at this little boy right here. Hold on, I like this part right here. Look at this little boy right here.
They yell at us kids and that we need to pull hours up. I asked my mom if there's a word for this, and she said there is. Hypocrisy. I know my teacher has asthma and everything, but I understand why it's hard for her to wear a mask, and I think she should have that choice. But I should too. I have allergies, and I feel really anxious with my face covered, but I'm not allowed a mask break like her. All this seems unfair, and it doesn't make sense.
How can the teacher have more rights than the kids? The teacher can take hers off, put it on the desk, all that. But let one of them take theirs off. They'll be condemned. They'll be punished. They'll be shamed. Let one of them take off. Oh, little Johnny, take off your. I mean, I can't say it, but you know what one of these teachers would say if one of these students would take off one of them things in the middle of the class. Huh? Especially one of these liberal ass teachers, but she can take hers off. She can take hers off.
Wow, how impressive is that? 10-year-old.
She can take hers off. Hold on, let me fast forward a little bit more right to this teacher right here, right? Oh, look at this teacher right here.
We were strongly encouraged to go. The topic was how to triage after.
This teacher actually quit, right? Now it's not just defund the right. It's not defund the police now no more. It's also defund the fucking teachers, right? Because it's teachers actually quitting now because they don't feel.
Sean McCarroll, I'm a teacher over at North, and I live down in the park. Last year, Sean McCarroll, I'm a teacher over at North, and I live down in the park. Last year, I participated in a professional development session during our November PD Day. Offered by Beaumont, we were strongly encouraged to go. The topic was how to triage after the event of a school shooting. During that session, I learned and even practiced on a dummy how to pack a bullet wound and apply a tourniquet to prevent blood loss in our students.
How is that? I mean, this is kind of crazy, right? How you're telling the teachers how to become first aid givers to students that are shot, right? Instead of supplying the school with security, right, where the teachers be able to defend themselves or have somebody there to defend themselves, you want the teachers to learn first aid and be first responders until someone gets there, instead of having someone already there, because you're taking the police out of the school.
I also, to my horror, learned that if my students were to get shot in the chest, I should leave them for dead and assist those who had a better chance of survival.
Leave the students that are shot in the chest. Don't try to save them, right? This is something that the school board in whatever, whoever is the head of the teachers, the school union is whatever, the teachers union, whatever, are teaching inside these schools. They're telling the teachers, look, you need to be trained in how to give first aid, render first aid, and you also must be trained on how to leave a fucking student behind. Don't worry about the students shot in the chest and he have a possibility to survive. Assist the students that are already running. That means get your ass up out of there properly. Don't stop and rescue nobody. Get your ass up out of there too.
Now, I find it interesting. The district sponsored that for us and trusts us, the teachers, who have no medical training in any capacity to be the first responders to our students' medical needs in the event of a school tragedy. Trust us to literally choose and decide who would live and die, while you don't even trust us with the educational decisions that are in the best interest of our students, the thing that we've been hired to do. The teachers in this district are experts in education. We've been highly trained through advanced degrees and years of experience to make the best educational decisions for our students. I have 10 years of experience, 2 postgraduate degrees in education. I'm a licensed K-12 administrator and a district level department chair. I'm more qualified to make educational decisions for our students, except for one person. Everybody here has less experience or actual knowledge of what life is like in our classrooms. Like you've done to my colleagues, you've disregarded my experience, my professionalism, and my expertise and reality and substituted it with your fantasies. You're listening to them. They don't know what happens in our classrooms. They're not there, and neither are you. You sit up on this stage, which, by the way, I hope you enjoy the space you have here. This does not exist in our classrooms.
Huh? You got kids sitting in cubicles like they're in an office while they get to have a desk. Kids are trapped in a cubicle like they in jail or in prison. Who can learn like that? Who can feel free like that? You got these kids trapped in cubicles because you're saying you're scared of them.
And you tell us after your meetings that you so appreciate and respect us. Well, I cry bullshit. You don't respect us. If you respected us, you'd listen to us. You don't appreciate us. If you did, you wouldn't make our jobs literally impossible to do. If you cared, you would pretend that you're listening, at least. I sent you an email months ago expressing my concern about our full face-to-face return, and I didn't get a single response from any of you, not one. Not even a message received. I helped get many of you elected to this board, and you couldn't even be bothered to hit reply. If you actually respected me and my colleagues, you'd prove it with your actions. Instead, you'll make your vote tonight, basically a foregone conclusion because you're trying to ram it through in a single meeting, and then you'll get to the end of the meeting where you say that you do respect us. Last time we were here, John told you that teachers were angry. You could probably tell that was true. He said, though, that it wasn't about any decisions at the board level. It was the situation. We're not angry about the situation. We can't control COVID. We're angry at you.
Huh? Everybody angry at the teachers board and the teachers union. Why is that? Teachers, parents. It's not the teachers you probably got some liberal ass teachers, don't get me wrong, out there actually scared of their students. But you have these teachers being forced to enforce these rules on these fucking students. To wear these things, to track, PE, to drink water, everywhere, right? If some teachers don't want to actually do that to a student. If some teachers want to have the students to have the freedom to walk around with a breath of fresh air and not be trapped in a small cubicle. So when you put all these laws and stipulations in place, you haven't asked some of the teachers. It's the teachers union and the teacher board that's doing this shit.
We are angry at you, and angry is a nice way of putting it. You've done more damage to our students, our district, and our profession in the last 12 months than we've seen in the last decade. Keep going down this path, and I'll be surprised if our #1 teachers even stick around. I know I'm not. I submitted my resignation to 389 last week, and I'm looking forward to doing something that's going to be valued and appreciated, not lied to and belittled. Listen to your teachers. We're #1 in spite of this board, not because of it. If you trust us to plug a bullet wound, you should trust us with this. That's 3 minutes. How many teachers need to leave before you start to listen?
Huh? How many teachers must leave before you start to listen?
Child, and I'm also the president of Parents United America, which represents hundreds of parents who are outraged and very concerned by these shifts that are happening in our public school system. We've heard a lot about how the equity educational policy is not equivalent to critical race theory. However, I've heard many things that are very disturbing that show it to be quite the opposite. First of all, the term equity, it sounds great, but is exactly opposite of equal opportunity. Equity demands an equal outcome. That only happens when you gerrymander things to favor one group or another. It's not the same as equal opportunity.
It's not the same of equal opportunity. Equal opportunity, right? If both of y'all have the same opportunity to get a decent education, to get a decent resume, get everything as far as opportunity, right? They get an opportunity to get to fill out an application at a certain firm or office or fucking occupation or whatever, that's equal opportunity. Now, saying someone can't fill out that application, saying someone can't go to that school, saying someone can't work at that job or can't have a business right here, anything, that's not equal opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But when you say, okay, this person hasn't got the education, or we haven't gave this person the education or the opportunities that this other person got, or other person got that's supposed to be privileged. So what we're going to do is we're going to force that the person that's supposed to be, we're supposed to be helping, we're going to force that person into these other person's lives. We're going to build houses in their community. We're going to put people inside of their school. We're going to put people inside of their businesses and things like that. We're going to do all these things because we want to force this equal opportunity. We want to force housing and things like that. We want to force all kind of shit. So you're taking for one and you're giving to the other because you're telling the other group you have too much privileges, right? Your neighborhood is too nice, right? You're making too much money. Your kids are too educated, right? We gotta have to dump all that down. You're getting too much good medical you're getting too much good medical coverage. All that. We're gonna take all that from you so we can give it to them. That's not equal opportunity. Equal opportunity is you telling me, is you opening up a comedy show for everybody and you say the funniest motherfucker win. Everybody has an opportunity to be the funniest motherfucker, even me, right? But if you say, okay, we want to have the funniest person, but they got to be white, or they got to tell this joke, or they got to tell a clean joke, or they got to tell a church joke, or they got to tell a race joke. I'm only funny telling baby mama jokes. Well, we don't allow baby mama jokes on this stage. That's not equal opportunity. I have clean baby mama jokes. Well, we don't allow that on the stage. We allow dirty, whatever joke we want to, but we don't allow clean baby mama jokes. That's not equal opportunity. Give everybody the same rules. Give everybody the same chance, same time, and everything. That's equal opportunity. When you go on the football field and there's two teams, everybody has equal opportunity to win. It's a person or the team that's most prepared, the best coach, and have the best athletes that win. Everybody can win.
The second thing that concerns me is when I heard the definition of equity that has been shared here and through many communications from the district. It talks about groups of individuals. When you talk about groups, it is collectivism. It is separating children into groups. That is exactly what it is doing.
Collectivism. You're saying this group is separate from this group. The white group is separate from the black group. We got to try to find a way to make the groups come together. And to make the groups come together, we must force this on them. Instead of letting kids just go out. Look, kids are not racist. You ever went to a park and just let kids just play? A 3-year-old and a 3-year-old, a 3-year-old black kid and a 3-year-old Mexican and a 3-year-old white kid. They don't understand race. We teach them race. We teach them racism. And then we also teach our kids love and compassion. How can you teach your kids love and compassion when you're telling this person they can't be loving and passionate? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't understand. And the only way you can be loving and compassionate is if you truly understand this person. And to truly understand this person, you must not find out about your history and find out more about their history. You must take some of your privileges and give them more privileges.
And groups based on what? What we've heard from both hiring the Gemini group, which is also another thing that concerns me, is the groups are broken down into race, gender identity, sexual preference, and oppression.
Right? These are all the groups. You have gays, right? You have genders, right? Pronouns and this, don't call me this, call me that. You have fucking religion. You have all kinds of things that separate us, right? You're breaking everything into groups. This group needs to be included. That group is not included. This group need more rights. That group need more rights. Instead of giving everybody has the same opportunities. I don't give a fuck if you're trans, gay, bi, Christian, Muslim, everything. Everyone has a chance to be successful in America. There's nothing holding you back. Everyone has the same 24 hours. Everybody has opportunity to internet. Everybody has access to capital. Everybody have access to free media. You have an opportunity to promote. You have an opportunity to do everything. It's people that had nothing in America, was homeless. Ask the pillow man, my pillow, was crackheads. Ask Hunter Biden, that became millionaires and billionaires. I mean, you ain't got to have a father that's in the White House to be a millionaire, to go from a crackhead to a millionaire. There's plenty of people. My pillow went from a crackhead to a millionaire. You can do anything in America if you want to. But if you sit up there and talk about how you're not qualified, you're not getting this, you're not getting that, you can find ways to get this and get that. It's always a way in America for you to get rich. Believe that.
When we look at the Gemini Group teaching, which I took time to watch the entire thing, it is even more disturbing. And this group was hired by this board. Because in that training, it talks about oppressors and oppressed. That is damaging to every group of children. First of all, some groups of children are thought of as being shamed for who they are. The others are taught that they are victims without the ability to further themselves and to look at the others as the enemies. We all know the Dr. King quote that has been shared, color of our skin versus the content of our character. He had a dream. This is a nightmare. It is a nightmare for our children, and it needs to end now.
I guess everybody black done forgot about that. Judge them not on the color of their skin. What are we doing right now? We're judging kids on the color of their skin. So you mean to tell me if a white kid walk into somewhere and a black kid walk into somewhere at the same time, we're gonna automatically assume the black kid is not educated and probably broke. We're gonna automatically assume the white kid is educated, right? And rich, right? And we can make that point like, well, that's what we want the racial thing to do. We want people to understand that you shouldn't judge people off of that and judge people off of that. I mean, that's understandable, and we shouldn't do that, but people do. People fucking do it. People have the right to judge how they want to. They got the right to have a perception and opinion of what they want to. Doesn't mean it's right. And doesn't mean and sometimes it doesn't mean it's wrong. But they have the right. Now, where it comes wrong is when they overly express them opinions by openly acting out or speaking or having some type of energy towards that person, negative energy towards that person. Like if the same white person and that same black person walked in and they automatically start questioning the black person, following the black person, and shit like that. That's because they concept of what they perceive is acting out. Now they also can be the same racist motherfucker, right? And treat both of them equally, right? Because he understands it's a business. He understands it's about money. He understands it's not about color. He can be racist all he wants to, but this is a business. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may go, however it may go, not automatically judging somebody. Right? You can find out if the motherfucker's bullshitting after that, after you talk to him. But some people give everybody respect off the bat, no matter if you're racist or not. Acting out on it is what happens. You can never control how somebody thinks, how somebody perceives somebody's opinion. You can never change that. That's a human nature to automatically assume somebody is something off the bat. You see white people that's walking down the street in all black and shit like that with chains and all that and fucking spikes and stuff. You automatically think this motherfucker crazy, right? You see somebody walking down the street, pants sagging off their ass, right, with a t-shirt on, gold chains and braids and shit. And fucking phones and Gucci belts and shit like that. You automatically gonna think this nigga's a thug. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how thugs look, and that's how crazy motherfuckers look. Huh? I see some white people and automatically judge like this white motherfucker is crazy. He all these spikes and shit and all. I don't know him. He can be one of the smartest motherfuckers in the world, but I automatically judge him. I judge white people all the time. I don't know them, but I judge them because I see motherfuckers on TV and on the news like this motherfucker like a serial killer. Sometimes you see a little white boy like this motherfucker like a serial killer. This motherfucker like he done killed some cats or something. Then I see some little black kid like this little motherfucker gonna be bad as a motherfucker. This little motherfucker gonna be gang banging all kind of shit. He already stealing shit out the store. I'm not judging the kid. He can grow up to be smart. I knew some kids like that, bad as fuck when they was young. I know some kids that was good as fuck when they was young, that was assholes and went to prison for murder when they was older. Nerds and shit in junior high and elementary. Got to high school, got the game banking, and got out of high school, got the killing shit, and now they're in prison.
The training also, by the way, divides basically educators and parents, because in the training, it refers to parents as dissenters.
Descendants. Your parents are descenders, right? So this was happening. You're telling me that it's up to the school to teach my kids values? That's up to me. You're supposed to be teaching my kids math, English, science, social studies, art, music, biology, trigonometry, American history, government. You're supposed to be teaching my kid all this shit, the courses that we've been having for years. How you gonna just throw some shit up in the middle of the game and say, okay, now we're gonna teach you this shit too? How? Where can I use that shit at? Where can I use some critical race thinking theory shit to get me a job? You know what? What'd you go to school for? What was your major? Critical race theory thinking. What the fuck kind of job? What good is that at McDonald's, motherfucker? Like, I went to school for critical race thinking. Like what? So what? Like what kind of job is that gonna get you, nigga? What you want, a cookie? No, I was taught. Even if you white, you can't even use that shit. Like, okay, have you had any extracurricular that you can put on the application? Yeah, one time when I was in high school, I took critical race theory thinking and whatever. You know what, white person, you hired. We know you're not racist. You took this racial theory class. We know you're not racist. We know you know all about the black history, the black struggle, and all that 1964 and Black Lives Matter. We're gonna hire you. What did they teach you? They taught me how to be less white. Now, you know what I'm saying? They taught me, look, so now what I'm going to do, nigga, since I'm black, they teach me, I want the black experience, nigga. I'm going to come to work late. I'm going to steal shit. I'm going to try to fuck everybody in the office. If you want me to be dumb, you want me to be dumbed down, because that's what you're saying black people are. Right? That's what you're saying black people do. If you want us to have the full experience, you want me to dumb down, I'm gonna act just like a nigga. I'm gonna call late for work after coming from a club, all that shit. Give me the whole experience, motherfucker. Hey man, you didn't come to work. Nigga, I'm black today. What are you talking about didn't come to work? Remember you told me that's what part of the race critical race theory shit. Nigga, I'm black today. That mean I ain't coming to work today, nigga. And send me my check. I'm finna smoke me some weed. Huh?
We are not dissenters. We are the parents. It goes on to say, and train educators to tell dissenters that this is simply the way we are going to educate your children. They're our children. We are the ones that have the moral authority over their education. We will not be marginalized. The board's job is to represent the stakeholders. When I looked at that screen up there, the stakeholders that were consulted before this policy was implemented does not list parents. Neither does the advisory committee. We are the stakeholders and we need to be included in this. Let me end by this. The job of the board is education. Right now, according to state proficiency tests, only 59% of Douglas County students are proficient in reading. Only 48% are proficient in math. That is the job of the school.
Not to teach them about I can get a job with math. My kid can get a job with math, spelling, reading, all that shit. My science, my son can't get a job with no fucking critical race theory. I don't give a fuck how dumbed down you tell white people to get. That's not going to educate my job and put my son in a better place to be successful. I don't give a fuck how dumbed down you tell white people. If my son don't got it in him, he ain't got it in him. You got to push him forward to be better than the black people in this community and the white people that he's competing against. He got to be better than all of them. Because he in competition not with just the people in the community. He in competition with not just the people in the fucking United States. He in competition with people in the world. So stop competing with people in your community. Niggas compete against people all over the fucking world.
The teaching of morality, teaching students to be kind. We can teach them to be kind, proficient in math.
Hold on. Wait.
That
discriminate. Now you tell me our ability to.
You can be anything.
Hold on. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know if you saw that. This is what a black
The survival of America depends
and a
upon
black
our
daughter.
ability to elect.
You can be. Daddy teaches you can be anything in this world that you want to be, right? Don't Daddy teach you that?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white or any color.
Doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, yellow, right?
Black.
And how we treat people is based on who they are and not what color they are.
And if they're nice and smart.
See, this is how children think right here. Critical race theory wants to end that. Not with my children. It's not gonna happen. My baby's gonna know that no matter what she wants to be in life, all she has to do is work hard, and she can become that.
Work hard, even though you don't know anyone. You can make friends.
Look at that.
Yeah, you can make friends, no matter what color they are. So we need to stop CRT. Period. Point blank. Children do not see skin color, man. They love everybody. If they're good people, they love them.
We pray for people that are hurt.
We pray for people. Look at that. Now that's what you should be teaching your kids. Love everybody. You can be anything you want if you work hard enough. Nobody should have to dumb down to make you more special. You make yourself special. What happened to these lessons? What happened to this teaching your kids morals and things like that? One of the best things that ever happened to me is when my son wanted to be a comedian. That touched me like, damn, my son want to be like me. That means I've done something right and I changed my life at the right time for the right reason. Now my son has somebody to look up to and to be better than. I want my son to be a better father than me, be a better comedian than me, be a better man than me. I don't want him to be a better black man than me. I don't want him to be a better black father than me. I don't want him to be a better black comedian than me. I want him to be a better all-around person than me. Not because I'm a black man, because I'm a person. And not just better than me, better than anybody. You want your, I mean, it was I had a street question on the street one time when I asked women, do black men get too much credit for not taking care of their kids or not enough? And I had to think about it. The correct answer is we shouldn't get no credit because no man should get extra credit for doing their job. And it's so fucked up when we see black people in our neighborhood, especially black men, with their kid or with their daughter. We're like, oh, this nigga got a daughter. Oh, like it's out of place in our neighborhood. You hardly see black men with their kids, right? At least young black men. You see older black men with their kids and things like that. But it's hard to see young black men with their toddler, 2 years old, 3 years old, things like that. It's out of place in our community. And we give him extra love. Like, damn, this dude got his baby. We give him love. Go ahead, black man. It's a damn shame when we got to give black men extra credit for doing their job. I tell people, I don't want no credit for raising my son. That's not no credit I deserve. That's my job, my responsibility. You don't get no credit for taking out the trash. You don't get credit for washing the dishes. You don't get credit for grocery shopping, paying the rent. You don't get credit for nothing. That's your job, your responsibility. So now you're telling me to tell my son, you know what I'm saying, to only compete for black audiences, only compete, only sell to your people, only make jokes for black people, for only tell. I can't tell my son to do that. Make jokes for everybody, son. Mexicans, be like your daddy. I make jokes for everybody. I mean, it's black people, white people, Mexican people that hate my jokes, and it's white people, black people, Mexicans that love my jokes. I can't control that. I make jokes for the people. I can't control who like the jokes or who don't like the jokes. They're going to do that. So I understand how these people are saying we're going to come closer together and we want to teach all this critical race theory when we have all this in our own community that is fucked up. Black people hating on black people, black mothers and fathers are separated and things like that. Why don't we get into the things that's happening right now? Why do we got to go into history and say, well, this is the reason why they're in this condition right now? Why don't we just help the condition right now? Why don't we try to find a way to get black fathers back in the house? Why don't we find a way to get black kids more educated, better schools? Huh? Why don't we try to find why don't we try to find a way to have better infrastructure in black neighborhoods? Huh? Better resources, youth centers, job sources. You know what I'm saying? Why don't we do things like that to talk about and address the problem now? I don't want my son to learn. Okay, this is why this is why you are oppressed. You are oppressed because back in the days this happened and this happened and this person done this and that person done that and this group done that and since then this happened and this right and you're supposed to have this right and this is supposed to happen but these people don't like you. It's all kind of shit goes on to a kid head if they got to learn all of this shit instead of just learning ABC 1 2 3. Huh? Now it's A, B, T, C, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now sex change, sexuality, penis, dick, pussy. Like, wait a minute. I want my kids to learn about 1, 2, 3s and the birds and the bees and shit like that. Biology, study the body, study the nature, study the land, study of history and shit like that. Like, where all this other shit come in? If I really want my kid, if they really want their kid to learn that, they can learn that on their own. I mean, it's plenty of books out there, right? But I want my kid to learn what's going to help him compete in the world. That's not going to help him compete in the world, and I don't want to him wasting time on that shit. Because when you waste time on that shit, right, and you have a teacher teaching that kid that shit, it wastes time for everyone in the class, no matter if they black, white, Mexican, or anything. Everybody don't need to hear this. You're not going to be celebrating. I mean, you're not. It's Asian kids in the same class. You're not teaching them about Asian American history and they plight. It's Mexicans in the same class that black people in. You're not teaching them about Cesar Chavez. How you going to force an education on somebody and then manipulate it? I had a conversation with my friend earlier, right? And I asked him like, it's parts of history taken out, like Black Wall Street, they trying to take out, you know what I'm saying? We didn't really hear about that in history, right? We didn't hear about the Jim Crow laws in history. We really didn't hear about the KKK in school and shit like that. It's lots of things that we didn't know about in history, right? Parts of the Civil War we didn't know about, right? It's parts of history that they was taken out. But everything that was taken out of history that was brutal towards blacks, it was the Democrats. They took all that shit out of history. They didn't want black people to know how fucking brutal they was to black people. With KKK, Jim Crow laws, Black Wall Street, Emmett Till and all this civil rights, taking the black men out the house and 94 crime bill and all that. They taking this shit out of history because they don't want the black men to know how brutal they've been to black people. Fucking brutal. If you look, I was telling somebody, right? And they said, and I done a little math and I went done a little research. They said 6% of America was slave owners. 6 to 10% of America back then was slave owners, right? 6 to 10%, right? And you actually have to have a little bit of money to be a slave owner because you have to have a plantation, you have to have work for them, you have to have a living quarters and all that. So it wasn't everybody white in America didn't have no motherfucking slaves. And somebody looked at that 6% like, man, 6%, that ain't shit. You way more than that. Like, if you talking about 50 million motherfuckers, and that's a low number, 6% is a fucking lot. That's over a couple of 100,000 slave owners. That's a lot with plantations. That's a lot of fucking slave owners. But the majority of the world, majority of white people, 89% or 91% or something like that, didn't have fucking slaves. Think about it. How every white person in America gonna have a fucking slave? You broke. How the fuck you gonna buy a slave? If I'm white, I'm barely making it. I'm in depression. I got a family. I'm living the 9 to 5, making not automobiles, making horse saddles or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing. I ain't got no fucking slave. So when you want to check my descendant, you talking about my descendant, check my family line. My family probably wasn't even no fucking slave owner. I'm the first motherfucking rich in my family. All my family been broke. I'm the first person. Like some black people say, I'm the first white person who went to college in my class. The first motherfucker to make 100,000. The first person to get a diploma in my family. I went through all the struggles that everybody else went through. I'm the first. My white family was broke. They whole fucking life. My daddy was an alcoholic. My grandmother cleaned fucking motel rooms. My great grandfather worked in a fucking steel yard or whatever. How the fuck did my family own slaves? Look at my family line. 6 to 10%. Think about it. If it was 50 million, look, if it was 50 million Americans, right? And let's say it was 5 million slaves, right? 10 million slaves, right? You mean to tell me how the fuck is 50 million people gonna own 10 million slaves? And that was throughout the history of time. It was 12 something million. 10 didn't make, 12 something 0.5 million or something like that. Only 9 million made it, but how, and that was spread throughout the world. How in the fuck is 50 million white people gonna own 10, 20, 30 million slaves? We don't, no, fuck it. We're gonna go with an even eye. How is 50 million white people gonna own 50 million slaves? It don't work like that. You can't have 100. Everybody could have been racist back then. How is 50 motherfucking million white people gonna own 50 motherfucking million slaves? I'll go with the double up. How is 50 motherfucking white million people gonna own 100 million slaves? That means every white person in the world had 2 slaves. The numbers don't add up. The numbers don't fucking add up. 80, look, put it like this. If 10% of the world, of the United States owns slaves, and all the rich motherfuckers, just like all the rich motherfuckers right now own slaves, right? You know, if all the rich motherfuckers was about 10% of the country, the 1%ers own slaves, right? We're gonna say 40% of the other country was racist, right? So that's 50% of the country racist, right? The 40% of broke white people and the 10% of rich white people was racist as a motherfucker, right? That means you have a whole nother 50% that wasn't racist. And we know the numbers wasn't that high. We know it was more like 75% that wasn't racist, right? But you had a whole nother fucking 50% that wasn't racist. Say, hey man, what you're doing to them people are fucking wrong. We're gonna fight for these people freedom. We're gonna fight for these people rights. We're gonna die for these people rights. And guess what? We're white. And guess what motherfuckers done? Guess what the black people done to us? Like, you know what? You free. We're gonna turn our back on you. Nigga, what? We died for you, motherfucker. And we the racist people? We fought a war for you. And you gonna go over there and turn your back on us and cuss us the fuck out? I'll be mad as a motherfucker too. Huh? That's like you saving the dog, you know what I'm saying? And then all the fucking, you feed the dog and you know what I'm saying? And I hate to use this analogy, some people might take it the wrong way. You feed the dog and give the dog a place to stay, you nurture the dog, you know what I'm saying? You walking the dog, you got the dog out and shit. We ain't even gonna say that. We're gonna say your girl. We're gonna say a man have a fine ass girl, right? And he's showing the girl off, he's feeding her the best of this and the best of that. He's sleeping in the bed with her all night, not touching her, showing her the respect and all that. And then guess what? She go fuck the next nigga. Like, hold on, wait a minute. And then turn her back on you like you ain't done shit. Like, wait a minute, I treat you like a queen. This motherfucker over here treating you like shit. He over there whooping your ass, beating you, You know what I'm saying? You got to stay in the house. You're always broke. You're always begging. And now you want to talk shit to me when I had you doing good? Working, you had a job, you had your own little business, you had your own bank account. Now you went over there and you sharing bank accounts. Huh? And you want to talk this shit to me? Guess what? Fuck you too. That's human nature. Fuck you too. Motherfucker. You want to go over there, you want to talk, these motherfuckers over here treating you like shit, right? Your boyfriend over here treating you like shit, and then you want to talk about all the shit I've done to you. What have I done to you? Huh? What have I really done to you but treat you like a fucking queen when you was over here? You can't name one bad thing I done to you. Now you over there talking about I'm gonna beat your ass. I ain't laid a finger on you. You talking about how I was never home. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, when I was at work and I kept you in the house. You know what I'm saying? All that old stuff. I had all the good qualities, but now you're over here lying on me. And then you're telling all your friends, now you got all your friends and their family, and all these motherfuckers believe I'm a bad guy because of the shit you said. And they gotta believe you because you was with me. Same with the Republicans and Democrats. Republicans between black, like, hold on, we fought for you in the war. We was the first ones to put you in a position to vote. We freed you from slavery, right? Even though it was, whatever, it was still Republican, right? We done all of this, right? We fought for. They used to say you wasn't even all the way a human. They say you was 2/3 of a human being. We fought for all that shit, and you gonna turn your back on us and call us the racists? And these motherfuckers invented a group to kill you motherfuckers. They bombed the shit out of you. They bombed the shit out of the place y'all had a community in. They didn't want you motherfuckers to vote. They took the black men out the house. They signed crime bills and all. And we are the racists? You know what? Fuck you too. Go on and stay with the motherfuckers and see what happens. Go on and stay with the niggas. But I'm about to get up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? It was nice doing this show. I'm going to come back on here. You know what I'm saying? And I will, before I come on this show, I will go on the other show and tell you I'm about to come back on this show. So, you know what I'm saying? Until all my channels come up, I guess I will fuck up on this channel, you know what I'm saying? So I got the less subscribers and let the other channels build. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't on my Patreon, you can go to my Patreon, subscribe to that. I'm going to have some clips coming out soon. And oh shit, wait a minute. Oh, shit, yeah. I have some clips coming out and all that. I will be back. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.